Hey everyone. In this video, I want to share with you some tips about how to stay grounded. And no, I don't mean how to stay in trouble with your parents and not be allowed outside. I mean how to not let things affect you as much, how to be a bit more resilient and calm in life so that when things get rough, you are grounded, you aren't affected by it as much. When people talk crap about you, it doesn't affect you as much. When people try to make fun of you, it doesn't affect you as much. Basically, staying grounded is all about not really letting things get to you. It's an incredibly important life skill to have. So let me jump right into the tips that I have for you today that have helped me become more grounded, so hopefully they'll help you as well. And the first thing I have for you is to practice conscious breathing techniques throughout the day. It's kind of like making meditation a part of your routine, making it a habit. But I've noticed a lot of people make excuses when it comes to meditating. A lot of people feel like they don't have the time to do it, which basically means they're not making it a priority because we all have the time. So since people find it such a struggle to commit to meditating, I've come up with the method that works for me because I even don't really like spending time sitting alone doing nothing. Just kind of, I don't know, it's not something I enjoy. So if you just breathe consciously throughout the day and focus on your breath, you can kind of meditate no matter where you are. And in that way, you'll make meditation part of your routine. So what I like to do, and if you've watched plenty of my other videos, I'll sound like a broken record here, but what I like to do is just to breathe in to my diaphragm. So engage your belly when you're breathing in, which means when you breathe in, you should be pushing your belly out to make room for your lungs to fill up with oxygen. It basically gets your diaphragm out of the way. And then when you breathe out, you suck your belly in. So that's how you engage in diaphragmatic breathing. It helps you breathe down here in your body so you're not breathing from your chest, which makes you tend to make more shallow breaths, which can actually increase stress and anxiety in your life. So diaphragmatic breathing on its own helps calm you down, which means it'll help ground you. So the technique I use is I breathe in counting to about 10 seconds, and I don't mean 10 like, I don't mean literally counting out 10 hard seconds, like 1 second, 2 seconds. I literally mean just counting to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 10. And that usually means you'll be holding your breath at the top for anywhere from like 2 to 4 seconds. And that's the most important part. For whatever reason, I've found that holding your breath when you're breathing in, it really calms you for some reason. There's something that goes on there. I don't know the full biological response that happens, but when you hold your breath for just a tiny amount of time, not to the point it's uncomfortable, but just enough, it helps ground you immensely. So breathe until 10 seconds, which means you'll hold it for about 2 to 4, and then breathe out counting to about 6 or so. That's what I do. And I just do that as often as possible throughout the day. I try to remind myself to do it, and it pretty much becomes a habit. You start doing it at random points throughout the day, and it's also helpful to try to remind yourself to do this when you feel yourself get triggered by something, whether it be somebody you don't like talking to, a coworker or something like that, or just you read something online or whatever it may be. If you get triggered by something, just remember that breathing technique and do it in the moment. Just start focusing on slowing down and breathing a bit more deeply and slowly, and you'll notice it will ground you pretty quickly. So there's a reason I shared that tip first. It pretty much is the most important one, and it has helped me immensely. It basically gets you out of your head and into your body, which will help calm you down. So now let's jump to the next tip I have for you, which is accept things and let them go quickly. This is probably a bit more difficult in practice, of course, but the more that you work towards it, you can achieve it. You see, quite often we focus on things a bit too much. We let things get to us. We struggle to just accept reality and let it go, knowing that sometimes there isn't all that much we can do. And I wrote this tip primarily for the situations where things are outside of your control, where you can't change a situation. Because so often we just keep focusing on it and we lose ourselves in wondering what we could have done better or wondering how we can fix things. But if you can't change a situation, if you have no control over it, then there's no point worrying over it. That doesn't do anything but waste your energy and your time. Because if you can't change it, then what's the point in worrying? Like, it literally solves nothing. Instead, you should be focusing on things you actually can change in those situations where you have some form of control over them. So, as much as possible, just remind yourself to accept things and let them go as quickly as you can. You just don't want to let things affect you if there's nothing you can do about them. Let go of worrying. And a thing that has literally worked for me is just thinking about, or you can even say in your head that you accept the situation and you're letting it go, kind of like a little mantra. So just tell yourself, I accept this and I let it go. And if you need to, just keep repeating that, and eventually it will make you feel better. It'll make you stop worrying about that situation, because if you can't do anything about it, then don't worry over it. That's stupid. I mean, if you can't do anything about it, worrying is a waste of time. So that's another habit that has helped me tremendously. Now, the next thing I have for you, this is another good one. Choose to make your mental health and your inner peace a priority in your life. Enough people don't do this. It's kind of, it's weird to me because mental health is intrinsically tied to your overall life fulfillment and happiness and enjoyment. If you don't make your mental health a priority, then that probably means you're going to let it go at some point. You're going to neglect it, which means it will affect all those things I just mentioned. It will affect your overall quality of life. So make sure you actually prioritize your mental health. Take good care of yourself. Don't indulge in a ton of sweets all the time, because that will make your mental health decline. Believe me, the food we eat has a huge impact on our emotions, and people need to realize that. It's not exactly taught in schools. It seems like our governments don't care about our health. I'm pretty sure they don't. So you need to take it upon yourself to take care of yourself. If you're feeling down, try not to eat a bunch of sweets or listen to a bunch of sad music. Just try to feel those emotions and know that they'll be released eventually. But if you try to ignore things or suppress them, or indulge in vices to make you ignore the way that you're feeling, that's not going to help you at all. That's going to make your mental health decline drastically over time. And also, a huge thing here is to get enough sleep. If you are constantly staying up late and not getting enough sleep, that will also make your mental health decline. I mean, scientists have literally studied this. Like, if you go too long without getting enough sleep, it can make you fall into depression because you're just not allowing your body to recover. Your brain needs that time to just relax and let go of everything that happened throughout the day. So prioritize sleep, take good care of yourself, and just make your mental health a priority. This also means cutting out sources of negativity in your life. So just try to reduce as many things as possible that make you feel not so great. Things that give you bad vibes, in a manner of speaking. Whether that be friends who aren't actually great to have in your life, whether it be spending less time around coworkers who are negative Nancy's, whether it means no longer watching the news. I would highly recommend that one. I don't watch the news. It's all negative crap, especially in today's day and age. Oh man, with all the craziness going on. So just detach from everything that is super negative. Just let go of all those things. Try to be more positive and optimistic. I mean, this alone has helped me tremendously. I let go of negative friends. I let go of watching the news, because I used to stay up to date on everything really like almost every day. Back in university, there was actually a class I was taking that wanted us to do that, because they wanted us to be aware of like daily occurrences because they could impact the stock market and whatnot. It was like an entrepreneurship class on starting your own business and being aware of everything going on in the world. So I had a habit of just reading the news every day. But after a while, I noticed that even though I was getting this information that could potentially help me make better stock buying or investment decisions, that's the proper way of saying it, and things like that, it wasn't making me feel good, because I was just learning all this bad things, all these bad things that were going on. And at some point, I was just like, okay, is this really going to give me that much of a leg up over other investors who don't really pay attention to news? I mean, once you learn enough about investing, you kind of know you can't time the market, and the best route to go is really just to invest in index funds, and that means just buy them here and now. Don't try to time the market. You're probably going to fail. So just throw money at index funds and walk away, and don't even watch whether or not they're going up or down. Just let them sit there. And over time, you can make millions doing that. So it wasn't even worth it for me to stay up to date on the news and get all that negativity for a tiny bit of advantage over others in terms of investment decisions or making money, pretty much. I realized at some point making money isn't the be all and end all, especially not for me. I'm almost at a place where I would work at like some, I don't know, some job that just was obscure or something. As long as it gave me the freedom to do the things that I want, I wouldn't really care what I'm doing anymore, especially because I don't care to work for other people at all these days. And just making somebody else rich isn't exactly how I want to spend my entire life. So money doesn't mean much to me. So knowing that, I just stopped staying up to date on the news and just stopped caring, and it made me so much more positive. I mean, I used to get into debates with my parents because I was so up to date on everything happening in the news and politics and whatnot that I would try to tell them, thinking for whatever reason they wanted to know as well. And it would lead to arguments sometimes because they didn't want to hear about that negative stuff either. So it was affecting my relationship with them as well when I was living with them. So just reduce sources of negativity as much as possible. It will make your quality of life way better. So that's pretty much all I have for you for what will help make you become more grounded in your life. These things have helped me tremendously. So just to summarize again, they are practice conscious breathing techniques as often as possible throughout the day, basically making meditation a kind of habit that you do in your day. And then 2, accepting things and letting them go as quickly as possible. So just not worrying about things you can't control. And then 3, choosing to make your mental health and your inner peace a priority. And 4, the last one, just stay positive and optimistic. Try to cut out sources of negativity in your life. Those tips have helped me tremendously. And now I'm kind of at a point where things only get to me after a while. If I have to deal with the same situation over and over and over again for like a year or longer, then it will start affecting me. But usually I've got enough patience that I can stay grounded even in situations I don't want to be in, provided I'm not going to stay in them for prolonged periods of time. So staying grounded truly is an awesome life skill, and it increases your overall quality of life. As well as for all the guys out there, it makes you more attractive for the ladies because it shows that you're not going to be, I guess, thrown off course by the world, by anything that can happen. It shows them that you're grounded in yourself, that you'll be ready to protect her and make proper decisions, and that you aren't super emotional or guided by your emotions. So it's a really good skill to have in your toolkit. But anyway, I'm going to end this video here. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if so, please like, comment, and share, and I will see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci!